Everyone, and welcome to this week's Punters Show. Mark Lambourne, Glenn Pollitt, Aaron Macy. G'day, guys.
G'day, everyone. G'day, Matt.
Matt's getting into the feel of things.
He's straight into it.
Huh?
He's Dallas with hair. Dallas
Yeah?
with hair.
That's
The old Adidas jumpers out. We know weather changed in a week, Mark.
Weather
What's going on?
changed
in a week.
And rain's coming.
I thought you promised a couple more days of warmth last week.
I'm thinking. Oh yeah, did I promise a couple more days of
Yeah,
warmth?
you promised a little more days.
Yeah.
You
Well,
let us
when
down.
did it turn? On
Thursday?
Thursday. Yeah. Sorry,
that
I'm
right.
sorry. I did perhaps shortchange you a couple of days, but I will say that
We are.
Yeah, right.
that May's finishing tomorrow, and the average temperature in May.
Miss Bondi's birthday tomorrow, end of May. World's best.
There you have it. Average temperature in May is 20 degrees, average max, and this May we've just had, average temperature has been 25 degrees. 100 mils of rain normally falls in May. We've had, prior to Saturday we had 4, and then we got 4 on Saturday, so that's 8.
Wow.
But significantly the temperature dropped, and that will mean a disparity between the ocean and the land, and that will get some rain happening. So this week we'll get some rain.
Sounds very complicated for me. So it's going to rain, Mark?
Sensational.
It's gonna rain.
Wet track around with on Saturday. Oh, rose illegal. Alright, boys, John Walter, man of the match. This bloke is absolutely
Yeah,
flying.
he just owns man of the match. I don't.
What's going on?
You know,
We're gonna get a run in
probably don't need to take. We can just permanently put his name on the trophy. I think.
Where did we find this fucking bloke?
I don't know, but he does a very.
Dallas
good job.
find him?
Yeah, Dallas.
Story going up on the site today, but I will just mention a
This
few of the
isn't-
key numbers because this is pretty impressive. So he was plus 34 units on Saturday. The last 2 weeks of his full sets, that's 2 Wednesdays and 2 Saturdays in Sydney, he's plus 136 units. Since January, he's plus 374 just for Wednesdays and Saturdays alone. That's 14.5% profit on turnover. His SMS service, as of yesterday, it's plus 464 units at 31% profit on turnover. He's a jet.
He's flying.
It's a very nice.
Holy shit! Yeah, look.
Yeah.
Well done, John. You've
well done, John. Well done, John.
really set a very an impossibly high bar.
But should also mention Darren Potter had a pretty good day on Saturday. Could have gone even better. He ran second in 2 or 3 races and he got the last 3 winners. So he's back on fire.
So what's the future for me and Mark? Going to be sweeping the floors at top better or something? Are we finished? Like, what's going on with us? We started as the 2 tipsters on this show.
Well, you can tell us about the tournament, Glenn.
What? That's
Because
my
you're the
new
tournament
job.
expert.
I'm the tournament man now.
The tournament.
Well, you know how it happens. You've seen them. You've seen
I've
the
seen
TV.
them. I've seen them all come and go.
Stars, they get shuffled into various niches over the course
I'm,
of their
I'm,
careers.
I'm pleased for John and his subscribers, and I just wish I'd followed him, but I don't follow anybody. So.
But Glenn,
But yeah, congratulations to him. And John Walter's not the one that sold cars up in the Ford dealership. That's John McLeod.
Yeah.
Do we still have John McLeod?
yeah,
sure do.
he was profitable. His set went in profit after the first race on Saturday. He tipped a winner at $8. He had 4 units on it, and he was done for the day. He was home for the day.
And if you need a second-hand Ford, go see John McLeod as well. Oh, fucking hell, mate. What the fuck
Going
happened
good.
to us?
Well,
I'll tell you what happened to me.
No,
I know we're chipping along, but it's just we've got these other people have come in that seem to be a bit airborne.
Well, they're travelling quite well in the run, aren't they?
Yeah.
Very good.
We're the 2 of them.
They're
Well,
just
obviously
slightly
everyone
off the
knows.
bit.
Everyone gets different people's stuff. They know it's peaks and graphs and blah blah blah. I know the people that can't get my stuff can't breathe without it. So.
For all the Johnny Walter excitement over the past couple of weeks, there was something happen on Saturday that takes the cake. Over to you, Glenn.
The tournament.
The tournament.
Well, he's obviously listening to your advice.
my
This
God.
person.
Can I just say, Glenn Gould has stepped into this man's life during the week and rattled
His
the
cake,
cage
yes.
big time.
Well, it was outstanding. I mean, a lot of you people on the sledge file were just. I thought you all seemed a bit mean to him. Like, he actually went to have the win on that day. No, I can't bag
No.
someone for having.
No, I'm not.
But he already had the win on
No,
the
it's
day.
ridiculous.
I-
So he
I-
could have
I
nearly
agree
won the
with-
tournament with what he had.
No, what do you
We'll
mean?
find
Neil?
that out.
Surely he was the winner of the tournament
you
as
gotta-
it stood.
Maybe
Before
not.
Suchet.
You think 1.54 million would have won?
To those
yes.
who don't know what's
Okay,
happened,
so
we'll
I'll
just
tell-
explain.
I'll say-
Let's walk them through.
So we start with 10,000 better bucks. Now go to topbetter.com and if you're not involved, if you're not involved in the tournament, it's not too late. And this bloke's living proof. The first week, our first leader was on basically exactly 200,000. I happened to finish second on 181,000, so yay me. Thought I was in a good position. So we get to the second week, and old mate, you start with 10,000 each day, and old mate's had 10,000 on Wonder Bowl. So he improves his stack to 44,000. That's at the best of 4, which is a top tote or best of SP. Then he uses the whole 44, which I've been trying to teach people to move all in with their stack. He's put the whole lot on Themis, which
Sorry,
was
can I just butt in here? Did this guy play day one?
I don't know.
Well, he's finished nowhere. We don't know about
His
it.
name's James PK. Is it James Packer just sitting back with a few Crown Lagers laughing his head off at us?
Maybe.
So he's moved 44,000 on Themis, which looked so... Obviously, it fit into my numbers with a chance to parade, but it did look an unfashionable type bet. Gay back in distance, 600
7
metres.
days.
7 days.
It's been up to Brisbane and back within a week.
So it trots in. Now he's on 264,000. So all of us went, wow, there's a freak, you know, maybe you'll sit on that. Oh no. He goes then all in on a horse, which wins by a nose in, honestly, a very hard race to pick the winner.
And a very, very scuzzy sort of race. Rodrigo, we're talking about.
We're talking about
2000
Rodrigo.
2,000 metre
He jumps
race
to
for 3 rods.
1.5484 million, and every person in the tournament, you can just see them go, well, we can't win.
I know. It was like
They're all gone.
Everyone had you could just sense you could just see the giving up across the page, couldn't you?
It was just like,
If only
So-
he could see
then I understand what he did next. He had 184,000 on something because he was at 1.584. So he's obviously had 184,000. I'll go for one more little lick, but I'll put a prison round 1.4 million.
Yeah.
The fact that he had the 184,000 to make it 1.4 million, I thought, well, that's his line.
Yeah.
And I can understand the next lick.
And what was the next league?
I can't remember.
Something. It was in Sydney or somewhere else.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
There it was. It got beat. So all of a sudden we're not up there betting against God.
And Ben.
Or John Walter. Then he has 100,000 on something, so he has another relic. So that's a sign of, oh, we've got a real sicko here. Maybe he might do 400,000 back and he can finish on 900, we can catch him. So then he's at 1.3 million, he's still got the tournament, like it's 100k. He's basically still got to buy the balls. He puts the whole 1.3 million on Suchet, busts out of the tournament, doesn't rebuy, and he'll go down in the legends of Punters Show history. In 10 years, if we're still going and we have a top 10 all-time champions, he's in the top 10. Outstanding behaviour.
And the chances of him turning up in the final 2 days are probably low, very low.
Well, he's in. He's in.
'Cause he's in.
entered, so he can always have another crack.
He's in. You
He's
get 10,000 every
sporting
day.
I realise that, but
I don't think he's a rebuyer. I think he's a...
all right, so you start again.
If
wins
he's
the
thrown away
tournament doing that
100k, he
again.
probably doesn't want to look at top better.
Well, there's 1,000 starters. I'll bet him 10,000 to 1 about winning the tournament. He cannot win the tournament.
No, he's so rattled.
He's just like the greatest tilt of all time. But then I was thinking about it. What about if he's worth 20 or 30 million? And he just joins in, has a few crownies, and he's on the golf course, so let me stick it to these blokes, and he's just fluked 3 winners in a row.
So why is he not rebought?
Because he's back on the golf course playing for $400 a hole.
Who knows? But
I don't know. It was an amazing thing, and as it's turned out, old mate, was it Todfrey or Godfrey or something? Todfrey. He's won the day with 366,000, so he's the new
It's a good
leader.
effort, isn't it?
It's a good effort. It's solid. A couple of people around the 300 mark, quite a few in the 250. I think the last week's winner on 200 and me on 190, where we were first and second, I think we're about 8th and 9th or 9th and 10th, so we've still got good chances. So what we're saying is that even if you haven't gotten this tournament, you can come on board this week and you can build yourself a big stack for the last day, because the field's bunching up, and I still think my prognostication, if that's the word, of getting to 2 million better bucks the last day will probably win the tournament.
But it does prove that you're never out of the game. Like you say, everyone was there watching the 1.3 going, oh, I'm cooked here. All over, suddenly, old mate Todfrey on a quarter of that is just taking it out of the day. Like, you're never out of the game.
And it shows you can do it on the last day. Someone could come out and
Yeah.
do this on the last day, back all up 4 winners, and just go, last to first, burn, bro, here I am.
Yep.
Yeah, and the reason that can happen is you're dealing with a field of 1,015. If you win this tournament, you've beaten a lot of players. That's a lot of players. This isn't like you win your A grade medal at golf, you're up against 40 blokes, and you go, oh, I won the A grade, I might win it once a year. But you beat 40 blokes. And past time you've got to be a burglar to do it, so
The other thing we should remember as well is that the 250k tournament in the championships was a dead heat. this is like it's not over. Like there is so much still to play out here that really like there's no excuse not to join up. For $110, it's 55 a day if you want to work it out like that.
Yep.
Plenty of opportunity to rebuy. Like as you say, no better value for your punting dollar.
I said that I've been saying that on the Tawny shows, on the Glenn Gould. He's a good man, that Glenn Gould. And
He's rocked some bloke's life.
but when I said you had to have balls, James PK, I didn't mean that big of balls. I was out. It was like it was great theatre, and it was great for the site. It was great for Top Bet. It was great for the show, and it was great for all the participants. Even if you finished Nord, I finished on Nord. I rebought 5 times. I've done my 550 on Saturday, but I'm happy with the value for my punting dollar.
Yeah.
Not happy about doing 550, but happy for my punting value.
Yeah. Now I should mention that there's going to be plenty of tournaments through the week that you can gain entry into the tournament through. I was actually with a mate on Friday night. We're at the Swans game, and he was playing in the last few races of a free tournament to win a ticket into the tournament. Top 5 won a ticket. He shoved all in on the last at Cranbourne, got the winner, and came 6th. He'll be watching this, Josh. That's why you should spend some real money, mate. But also, should just say that there's going to be some golden races on Saturday. So there's going to be extra prizes if you come out on top in certain races. That's going to be finalised through the week. We'll have something on the show about that, but that's
and
coming
more
from
on the
the
tournament
top
show, and more from Glenn Gould. So we're just finalising our details. We're not sure exactly how it's going to work, but they're going to be golden races for whoever shoves all in that race and has the biggest collect on that race. There's going to be possibly
some sort of prize, maybe. We're not sure yet.
We're not
That's
sure.
like closest to the pin.
Like nearest the pin, yes.
Yeah, let's not say legally we shouldn't make any promises at the moment, but we'll make sure there's something.
Mate, nothing new to the show. We don't worry too much about legal.
Just pick it up where Matt Taylor one left off, mate.
Come and sue me. Fuck.
Someone wanted to on Saturday. Anyway, we'll get to
did they? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, yeah. Very nice.
At least the punters.
I thought because that wasn't racing, it didn't matter. And then they got up.
And then they got up with the 2 soft tries at the end.
Well, they were models, were they?
I said Canberra Morals and the fucking... I won't even say what I said, but I didn't realise, because Dallas rang me, he was that filthy. I said, it's nothing to do with racing. He said, fuck, it's a sporting organised... Anyway.
Moving on.
I was only joking anyway. It was a joke.
Boys, before we get to Sydney, Bindi Baker, there it is, Group 1. Congratulations. Aaron Macy. We did a little...
Baker? Oh, yawn.
You named him Bindi Baker.
No, I never.
Yes, you did.
When?
A couple of months ago.
It doesn't ring a bell with me. But anyway, Bjorn, first Group 1. How
In
fantastic.
any case, we should say little props to Aaron. Aaron and I did a story on the site, and I was pretty keen as Cadillion. Aaron said, no way, Music Magnate will win.
Oh,
I said, all right,
Aaron,
I'll have a
you're
saver
freak.
on that, and there he is again.
Very
Aaron,
well. The little-
for the punters, little free tips. Very
Well
good.
done, young Aaron.
And have you ever seen a race like a race of that stature run like that?
No, I haven't.
It's good
That
to
was
see pace in the
extraordinary.
race.
It was extraordinary. It was extraordinary. Did Dostoevsky give itself up as a cat for the rest of its life? It was not only getting a suck, it was getting a complete polish at the 400 and fucking moved to the outside and just like, Dostoevsky's just, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
It's
That's
Dothraki.
yeah. It's a Game of Thrones horse.
Here's a game of Thrones.
Little stat as well. Kay McAvoy he's won the Doomben Cup. He's won the 10,000, and if he goes on to win the Stradbroke on Music Magnate, I'm guessing he'll only be the second jockey ever. And so there's plenty of people crowing about that, using that as he's pretty underrated. But do you boys think he's rated where he should be, or he's a bit underestimated on the grand final day?
I like him, but it's only since that whole O'Shea business where Kevin got the heave-ho. And since then, he's become a jockey of interest to me, whereas previously when he was riding for the Darley horses,
You went off.
He tends, on your average Saturday, I tend to not like him as a jockey, but he seems to get in these Group 1s and he seems to ride them perfect.
Sydney Cup,
he's a
Galante, whatever it was.
Even as Cordelia last year,
Yeah.
like just rode her perfect the whole time up there. I'm pretty sure he was on her.
Stricandy,
sorry,
Kieran Mark, yeah.
Well, he's obviously a senior rider, highly experienced,
And very
knows how to
friendly.
ride, and he's a lovely bloke.
He's one of the
But
best.
I suppose he's having a good trot, and that's great for him. But talking about having good trots, now, for all the work I did for Saturday, turned them upside down on Friday, priced this, did this, watched every horse parade, did top better, did 550 at top better, did 4 in cash, another day, there it is, go home mental. There it is.
Adidas hoodies.
Adam Hieronymus, no, I don't want to fucking go mental here. But let's just say I just cleared my thoughts and said, fuck everything. I've been tipping Adam Hieronymus for months now. I'm just going to back him today. So I'll just have 500 each way on him all day. So let's just see how you go. Right. Now I'm just going to stick to it. I'm not going to change my thoughts. All right. Now, race 1. He's on number 1 here. Now this is this shitty horse from Scone that won a
Scone sales race.
Scone sales race. It's fucking legless. It's a bit of $26 and $6 a place. But Glenn, you've got to have 500 each way because you're not having any opinion. Like how you always do it. Okay. Runs second. Perfectly ridden. Gets beaten this far. Tick. Profit. Next bet. Nothing in the next. Next bet. Oh, I know this horse. Bjorn Baker trains it. It was into Evans at Hawkesbury. The worst race you've ever seen. Anthony's best friend passed it. This is a cockroach. But I've got to have 500 each way because Adam Hieronymus is on it. It was called
Colonel Custer.
Colonel Custer. Not only was it, they bet $21, it got beaten so close, second, you collect again with the each way, but we actually all thought it'd win. All right, another thrill. So second and second, this Hieronymus is the best. And then you sit around, you have a cup of tea, you pay the expensive prices, you try to get a beer up at the bar that's now FPOS only, you're completely in your head fucked, but you've got to have a 500 each way in Ecuador. But it can't possibly beat Darren Weir's 2's on chance, but I've got to do it because it's Adam Hieronymus. Dun 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 dun. Pisses in. Never going to lose. You win about 6,000 on that race. Then you wait a couple more races and you have 500 each way on Cape Crusader and you go, that dirty, filthy Hieronymus. I've done my money. But you have a most profitable day. Now, honestly, this kid is on fire. Punters have got to start joining. This punter show's always been about trying to find you winners away from the mainstream and trends and whatever. But fucking hell, trainers and whatever your riding agent's name is, this kid should have a full book.
You're his riding agent.
Well, I sat myself. This kid should have a full book. He rides every... The other day he waltzed into Hawkesbury. He walked in like dirty, filthy Ganderton, like he was a movie star. I watched him walk in. He was about race 6 because he had one ride. Charming lad. They went up $8. It SP'd 360 and won by 4. And then he just walked out. Now you reckon McLeod's on fire? Walter's on fire? Look, honestly, and Gay, don't worry about taking Ecuador to Brisbane. Make sure you leave Hieronymus on it because you just haven't got a clue how good this kid is. He's a hot rider.
Wow.
He's a hot rider. Even though I back Cape Crusader. Dirty, filthy Hieronymus. Well, the first had none. I was there at Scone. I know that horse had none. Oh, Bjorn's horse, he'd come. No. Oh, Ecuador, I don't think you get the extra 400, but I got your second pick. But I just stay out of the race. Like everything that happens to me doesn't work out, but I can predict it.
All right, Glenn, everything you've said is rock solid, and you've been talking up Hieronymus for months and months and months,
He's a freak.
and he hasn't let you down.
He's a freak, but he gets 2 rides a meeting.
Yeah.
Gay thinks he's like a third stringer.
Yeah,
She
well,
doesn't understand he's the star of the stable.
But you know that Rachel King is apprenticed to Gay. How many times do you see a ride for Gay? Once in a blue moon.
I didn't know she was an apprentice.
She's an apprentice to Gay.
Wow.
English girl.
Rachel King's apprentice to Gay.
She had a ride for Gay on Saturday.
Gay doesn't. I don't think Gay works well with the female girl riders.
No. She
Doesn't suit her style.
No.
She's the star.
In fact, she doesn't really work that well with anyone that's sort of.
I think Gay's biggest problem is she
25
thinks she's 25 though. I think she thinks she's the star. But other people are stars.
Well, she did very well on Saturday, Gay.
Yeah.
And the segue is of Ecuador and Hieronymus is into the talking point of the day, which of course is Raw Impulse. There's a horse that
They took $1.45 in the ring. I saw someone take $1.45 on the stage.
right. Yeah, well, it was the betting was fine until the last 5 minutes, and then questions started to be asked. And, the jockey seemed to ride him confidently enough.
Your stat, D. Weir?
No, I was going to just say, well, yeah, there is that, but also, I was going to cover this in part 2, but since we've brought it up now, there were 2 tweets actually, Mark, which were a bit complimentary toward yourself. They came from Alex Donnelly, and they said, the Mark Pearl about horses at 2,400 metres needing to have a tough run before or a run at the trip worked perfectly for Ecuador and has worked against Raw Impulse, but then also, he was completely against Raw Impulse with the 3 soft runs.
Hashtag just ideal.
Yeah, sensational, just ideal.
I just don't think it runs 2,400. Maybe we'll see next week.
That's what Clipperton said after the race.
He's a horse, he looks like a 2,000 metre horse, and he goes fast and he's got to turn a foot. He doesn't have that
So is he-
climbing
Yeah,
stage.
look, 2,400 is another bridge, and unfortunately we also had to assess the winner into the 2,400 as well. But Yeah, there's something about, there's an X factor required at 2400 that you can't get away with. So that horse had come to Australia without a 1.5 mile run. Unusually, they seem to debut over 2400 over there.
Yeah.
This horse came with only 2,000 metre form, but being a Northern Hemisphere import, I presume that a 1,200 metre horse over there gets a 1.5 mile a year.
I don't miss that.
But
What did you think of him as a type-wise?
It was a lovely time. It was
Lovely
a
time.
perfect order.
I think he's a 2,000 metre horse.
You might be
Perhaps
wrong.
he's a miler, actually.
What that was the other thing. I think he'll get the 2,000s.
Anyway, it was theatre. It was interesting racing.
And look, and really, we just didn't make anything of it. Here's a fucking visitor that turns up at $1.50. What are we thinking? What are we doing?
What are we thinking?
Like, what are we doing bowing down to this thing? Because it's D Weir. It's D Weir, and I'm that head fucked by D Weir. Every time I go to Melbourne, he's turning up with these horses picked up from Sydney trainers and just transforming them.
Yeah,
Sabu, McGee's.
Yeah.
it is. It's a scary thing, Dave. It's a scary thing.
Anyway, I was spooked on Saturday, and
What'd you mark it? 4 to 7.
no, I marked it 4 to 6, but it doesn't matter. I like it.
Some people, I know what you mean. When you mark it 4 to 6, you expect to win pissing.
Yeah, I was just too kind, too wary, too.
So we talk about this Pearl with the 2,400 metres, but Ecuador hadn't been there either. So what
No,
do we say about Ecuador?
Alex is sort of he's misreading the Pearl. I mean, he's saying, look, it did have a tough run prior, but the Pearl is actually the best preparation for 2,400 is 2,400. So when you're looking at a 2,400 metre race, it's good to zone in on the horses that they lasted over 2,400.
Yeah.
It's because it's such
Ever
a.
since you said that, it's changed my betting completely on distance races. I look at them, and the first thing I just put a line through anything that hasn't been there. Just don't even, I'm not betting big, but
It doesn't matter how big you bet.
Yeah. It's intelligence.
It's
probably
never
my
think about how
favourite
big you bet.
Yeah.
If I thought, well, that guy used to bet in tens of thousands, now I bet in tens. I'm still trying to get going. You're trying to get going.
Yeah.
You'd like to bet bigger one day by building a bank.
Yeah.
So you're betting big.
I just follow John Walter. Hey, speaking of, so Ecuador won from the front now. Just before we go on to the rest of the round, another one that was up on the pace today, on Saturday, was Gisoni in Brisbane. Now they ran a race record by I think 0.2 seconds, and it was 0.09 outside of Takeover Target's track record at Doomben. Now the same tactics, they went about the same pace in front as they did in the 10,000. Gisoni kicked and kept going. Obviously they all compounded in the 10,000. Is there much we can read about Gisoni going into a race like the Stradbroke?
Well, look, she
Looks
was
like a
but she was fresh. She was blue colours fresh.
Yeah, I think she's hard to like in the Stradbroke, isn't she?
Well, but it was an amazing win
I
on
like
Saturday. Like
Yeah, I
J
wanna
Mac made a
counterattack.
complete ass of that the early stages of that race. There he is. He jumps out well, but he's. It was you that said to me there was no pace in the race, didn't you?
Yeah, there was not a lot of early pace. There was no pace on paper.
There was no on-paper pace in the race, but there's four of them across the track early. And he eventually got to OSL, which I don't like horses sitting OSL on any type of speed.
Yeah.
And it clearly was a genuinely run race
Yeah.
if they've run that sort of time.
Yeah.
So, from my point of view, Gisoni's an amazing run, but it's O'Shea. It's actually sort of been up for ages.
Yep.
Freshened for that result.
Yep.
It's a vexing question going into the Stradbroke.
She jumped out of the outside gate, so basically the only option was to get up there and get outside the lead. Say she draws in the middle or something in the Stradbroke and they take a sit, do you view that sort of speed map as a negative coming off an on-pace OSL run? Like,
No, not at all. Not at all.
she's
No, I think
better
the
than
point of the OSL run is that it brings you to a pitch. It's like you've done something in that race that's just going to give you a shitload, a crockload of momentum into the next start. But, as I say, we're dealing with horses, and we saw them littered through the program. When blue colours run up to win, you go, it's okay, they're not going to go on. They just flatline. What was that horse? Silver Souchet was one of them, and then there was who chased home Mighty Lucky? Malice.
Malice.
And I'm just going, they loom, and then they just.
We've seen it with
They're lacking that killer punch because they're just.
We've seen it for
they're
3
tired.
months with
They're
Haraki.
tired. Yeah, Haraki. Yeah.
Haraki was cool. We're a bit lucky there in the tournament punters that James PK didn't go missing on before Sush's race because he probably goes chips all in on Gisoni.
bad luck, mate. Then he probably...
See,
It
you said
does-
that with a smile on your face. You guys are all Death Riders. I really cheer in this. I really cheer him.
Oh, yeah, me too, but
You're
like,
just glad
it's
he's
kind of
out.
funny. I can't, I'm not playing, so I
Oh.
can't play, so... But, well, actually, we just spoke of Mighty Lucky going all right without career jockey.
Well,
Yeah.
poor Nathan Thomas. I mean, it's one of those classic situations where everyone knew that this horse wasn't allowed to show his best. And
They really went searching and it
Wasn't the best ride on Saturday, though.
no, but the horse has been able to do it himself all his career, with not many winning results. But
He's a horse I used to always back as a young horse.
he's one of those classic old style horses, Mighty Lucky.
Yeah, yeah.
We used to see lots of those, and we don't see many of them anymore.
No, we see they're all.
You know,
Painted up and polished.
he's a horse of the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's a Kenny Gorinsky.
Yeah.
Kenny? I loved Kenny.
Fantastic.
Boys, just before we leave Doomben on Saturday, there was 5 Sydney/New South Wales train winners, and we Quinella the distance race. The Queenslanders won races 1 and 2, which were on grade the lowest
Yeah.
race on the card. Do they have a hope in their own carnival? Like, is this just do you have to just take something off the Queensland trainers? Like, do they have any hope?
I think they're doing sprinting, those sprint races. They seem to have like a decent sprint or some of the Queenslanders, but any time it goes past the sprinting trip, they seem to struggle.
Yep.
Would you agree
Fair
with that,
comment.
Mark?
Yeah, look, but it should be tough going for them, isn't it? Shouldn't it? I mean, they're racing medium stock.
Yeah.
Yes, they've got sort of a home ground advantage, but
Cheapest stock.
yeah, like bring back the steroids. I say honestly, I know people will look askance at me for that, but honestly, remember our steroids product of the 80s. It did seem a lot more game on.
A lot more game on. I was watching, even just watching a show yesterday on racing.com or whatever, the 92-93 season, Australasian, like the old tapes and Bill Conley, and just like horses are just, first of all, watching them whip down the straight, their whips were this big. It's just outstanding.
I know.
And
They're almost trailing on the ground.
But the most amazing thing about it, like every second tape reel burst was something, whether she's winning a golden slipper or a wakeful or running a nose, like she ran everything.
I know. They just went round and everything.
They ran everything. But the most amazing thing was panoramic view of Rambie at the front there, not the members, but not so much the crowd, because we get big crowds, but the crowd's dress. People were in stubbies, holding the race book, watching the race, interested in racing. Now all the girls are in $4,000 dresses, and the boys are trying to do their best, and they're parading around like they think they're that King's Cross identity, Ibrahim or something, and they think they're it. But back then, people were just racegoers.
That's right.
And I think we've really lost something there.
But Australia Australia probably still is like that. But Sydney, and particularly the eastern half of Sydney, is so far up their asses. It's not
It's
funny.
Wankersville. It's unbelievable.
But we're all in it. We're all part of it. You know, you live in Coogee. That's good, like.
I live there because the beach.
Yeah, I know, but all the places you visit are all like. You know, all the cafes are like. You know, you can't sit down and get anything.
Yeah, but I wouldn't
normal to eat.
I'm not a snobby person, though.
No, I know, but it's just part of our lives now.
It's just amazing watching the old footage of just people just go to the track in
Yeah.
like normal dress. Like they look like people going to the races. It was just a great show. Anyway, but yeah. Donegal Missman ran about 8 things. They didn't show the Metro because that was the year before or the year after. There it was.
All right, moving along. Ray Murray, thanks Ray. Protest in his last race.
Last race isn't
It had to
amazing.
be uphill. It was an easy protest uphill. He came out sharply on Rogish.
Well, the weird thing was that the winner sent him that way. The winner came out and balked him, but didn't touch him.
Right.
So Rogish then went whoop and reacted to that, and then subsequently lost his second placing.
This Rogish has been well in the market, I think, in 2 Sydney runs. And it's got an interesting jockey choice, maybe.
Yeah, look, both runs are okay. I mean, certainly he had a pretty sweet run on Saturday and Bull Rush. Wow, I didn't realise he had that much ticker.
I didn't either. How can
You know, like he won a joke race. He won a joke race at Goulburn, a joke race at Wyong. Canterbury resumes at Canterbury. I'm going, okay. Well, you know, you're just there. You're doing it. You can't come to Randwick, sit outside Cape Crusader, and then fight everything off that comes.
You can't do that. That's a terrific win.
Nice type too, isn't
He's
it?
a lovely horse. Lovely
Nice,
horse.
strong
Yeah,
type.
lovely horse. Hard for me to profile the winner on a horse like that, but anyway, good luck to him. Well done.
And so, what do we do with those wallers that were like Invisible was a bit unlucky and Disgraceful got pushed out late.
Probably
But I
should
mean,
have won the race. in this
well, is that what we take into next start? That,
Yeah,
that
I know, it's
Invincible has
tricky.
a win next to his name? I don't know.
Bull
Like
Rush
he was
probably
perfectly
would've
suited
won.
on Saturday, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Bull Rush was, he earned his win regardless of the horse being unlucky.
Yeah.
Really
We've
did,
started this little segment with Ray. Has he finished, Ray? We won't see him again?
As far as I'm aware,
That's it.
That's it. He's done.
Done? Thanks, Ray.
Thanks, Ray.
Yeah.
what
So
does
is he
he
going to
do?
retire now or is he getting a new job?
No, retire.
I'll take Evans a new job.
I want to consult.
What's your favourite Ray memory? You've had a bit to say about him on the show.
Well,
over the top.
let's just, before we get to that, I'll take Evans a new job. I'll say, my tip is, you heard it first in the Punter Show, not retiring.
Right.
Yeah.
But he's retiring as a steward.
As a racing steward, yes.
Ooh, Glenn's hinting.
As a
Careful.
football steward, he's coming back.
Ah, yes.
Big announcement in 6 weeks. NRL have got him. There you heard it first in the Punter Show. The old Glenster, on top of everything.
Always.
Don't agree?
Always.
I don't know, mate.
It's a
I'm
long
not
shot,
familiar
isn't it?
enough with
Yeah.
Ray as a person.
Not a
I
long
don't-
shot, is it? It's fucking horrible. He'd love that sort of role, walking around with the pork pie at the fucking footy. Son, what's that shin guard doing on that shin guard? He'd love it.
He might question you.
Might question tapes on knees or fucking them bootlaces are too long. Fucking old Ray, he loves it. That's the inside running there. What were you going to say with Matrix? No, Ray, I've really had nothing to do with it. I've never really spoken to him. I've never really spoken to him. I've never been in the choir in 36 years because I never do anything wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I crack a lot of smart ass comments, but that's fucking fair enough, isn't it?
Think so?
I've found him the most pleasant man
Really?
outside the steward's room. Inside the steward's room, honestly.
Lovely fucking man.
But outside the steward's room, I encountered Ray. I went to Warrnambool twice, and on each occasion I met Ray at the airport on the way back. We were catching the same flight back, and he's the nicest man. But I did have misfortune of encountering him in the steward's room on several occasions.
Geez, you're naughty. So I've never been to steward's room. What's it like?
So you don't count that Wyong betting dispute, the steward's room?
Oh, that was with Michael Beattie. I was a bookie, and that was different. But still didn't do anything wrong. I just got ruled against.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't do anything wrong.
Ruled against.
Oh,
Yeah,
mate,
I'm naughty. You're a bloody straighty 180.
I'm a straight 180. Anyway, see you later, Ray. So we'll miss you. We'll see you on Channel 9 on the footy in the next few weeks. It'll be great.
Someone you guys have had a little more to do with. I think he was even on the show once. Graham Begg, training at Mornington as of today.
Another one Mark's been naughty with. Fuck, you're naughty with everyone.
Yeah. Well, Graham, it
He's a nice split in the wall.
It was one of our best shows when Graham came on.
He's a terrific fella. So he's at Mornington. Is he starting today?
And he's a part owner of Mossing Around, and there's sort of some quotes around saying that's the first horse he thinks he hopes can sort of take him through in group races. So he's taking it from John Thompson. He's a part owner himself, and he's hoping that can be the one to kick-start him. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I got the May calendar, and there he was on top of the list, #1 trainers. And I'm thinking, didn't he hand his license in? No, he didn't hand his license.
Okay. All right, Gary Protoli, the
Ibuprofen, Nurofen.
All right, charge has been overturned. What was he taking Nurofen for himself?
Well, no, there was a horse that he trained that had been treated at a clinic, and apparently there's a fair few horses they eventually found have been treated at this clinic. Anyway, it's just a small news item. Gary Portelli's name has been cleared. He did have a charge of juicing up a horse, I guess, against him. A minimum bet rule now in Victoria. They've caught up. Is that going to change?
What's the minimum bet?
So,
Yeah.
what? Thanks to what is it? Just thanks to Richie Irvine, the Fair Wagering Australia, or whatever it's called. Is that the story?
I would think so. Yeah, there's been a few sort of Twitter campaigns and stuff. A bit of momentum's been behind it.
So, is this just falling into line with New South Wales, where they've got to bet you to win 1,000 at 9 o'clock?
I believe so, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well done.
Well done.
Thank you, and good job, Richie.
And hurdle race controversy. What does this mean? Common sense prevailed. Oh, what?
So in the hurdle race, in the Australian hurdle, we'll just cover this quickly. They basically got to the last hurdle. One of the things at the side, what are they called, that hold it up? The
Stake.
Yeah, actually fell down, and so the jockeys didn't know whether someone was, fallen over behind the hurdle or something, and so they basically ran around without any direction. They just ran around. They avoided the last hurdle.
All of them did.
They just rode straight around it. The short price favourite was beaten by a nose or something, and so there were a few people blowing up. But basically, in the end, the jockeys collectively in the middle of a race decided we're just not going to jump this hurdle.
So it should have been no race.
Well, it was the result stood.
That's ridiculous.
The result stood, and so
why
that's what I mean.
why did you write common sense prevail?
Well, because in the end, if there was someone on the ground behind the thing, it's just a question. Did common sense prevail? Because if someone was behind the thing and fallen over,
that should have been a no race.
Yeah, they actually.
So okay, well let's have a 1200 metre golden slipper, and some 3 blokes strip and run out at the 100 metre mark and protest and lie down at the 50 minutes. Everyone pulls up at the 1100. Is that a race?
well, no.
So how's that a race?
Well, I'm asking the question.
Yeah, okay. That's
big time.
how was that a race? That shouldn't have been a race. You got to jump. If there's 10 hurdles, there's 10 hurdles. Because also the margin was $1.50 chance got beaten by that far. It didn't jump one hurdle. Maybe it would have jumped that hurdle length, but that can't be a race.
Can I ask you a question, Glenn? What if you laid the $1.50 pot? Would you still
Definitely could have been a race.
Yeah.
could have been?
No, but if you don't, how's that a race?
I agree. It can't be a race.
Interesting.
I
There'll be
didn't
more
even
about
hear
that
about
on the Melbourne
It's good.
Punter Show.
It's good that they use logic for someone's safety, and then it's just
Look, let's just get away from everyone's safety, okay? Because it's just driving me fucking absolutely mental, this country. I'm so sick of everybody. The greatest thing in the world ever in my entire life, and you people that are 50 and over there, you'll be straight behind me. The greatest thing that there ever was Cracker Night. Cracker Night was the greatest. You have a bonfire, you go buy crackers. You're too young, you wouldn't fucking know.
I remember that.
Bungers, everything, right?
Yeah, you used to
And
go
then
to
all of a
Canberra and
sudden,
get 'em.
I'll give you an example. All of a sudden, 2 or 3 dopey kids who probably don't deserve to have a proper hand anyway, blew a couple of fingers off. One kid lost an eye. You know what happened? They cancelled it. They stopped it. Now I'll give you a good example. In the last 2.5 months, we've had 4 young ladies, another one overnight, lose their life working or riding horses. A 12-year-old overnight got trampled to death. 2 days ago, a 31-year-old went over the front.
WA
We had the 2 lovely teenagers in the last 2 months. So 4 girls in 2.5 months are now dead. Is anyone talking about banning young women working with horses?
No, they'll ban the horses first.
But I'll give you another example. If
Well,
we had
you
a
gotta-
mini bike park and we're all burning around like mental cases, and a kid got killed because he went, probably time for him to go anyway because he's a fucking, he didn't have a great brain. Do we ban mini bike riding? Of course we do. Well, why do we not ban women working with horses? 4 did in 2.5 months, Mark. 3 kids lost fingers, and I don't get the Cracker Night anymore. It fucking shits me. So let's stop talking about safety and fucking crap and what did you say? Someone behind the hurdle. If someone's behind the hurdle, fucking bad luck.
All right.
Anyway, they didn't follow the rules of the race.
It shouldn't have been a race.
Yeah, I agree with you, Glenn.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Ramwick. Moving on. First race, 2-year-olds. Skylight, Glow, Flow beaten again. Anything
Well,
to say?
here we saw this rider,
He's look since
Schofield's-
D Byrne, James Cummings, and Glenn Schofield triumvirate began. It's been deadly, hasn't it?
they're just deadly. Like, he rides those horses so
Well,
well.
but they draw wide, they spring out of the gates, nothing comes near them.
Sits in that spot, lets him go, checkmates them, holds everything up, gets the tempo right, clicks up, wins. It's just a freak when he wants to be.
That's good, Glenn.
Good
Yeah.
Glenn is awesome. Good Glenn's as good a rider as I've ever seen. It's
Yeah,
bad
yeah.
Glenn
I
you've got to
know.
be very
Well,
wary of.
But good Glenn, you made mention of many years ago on this show.
He's
you
a
were wrapping him
freak.
up.
He's like just so talented,
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
Yeah,
But then
he's got a presence in the saddle when he rides like that. That is just
awesome. And there he is on Rodriguez. Just like, oh yes, I'm just, yes, I gotcha. He's a freak. What do I think of the race? What about Flo? I think they're still Melbourne 2-year-olds. No, winter 2-year-olds. What do you say, young Aaron? Not much.
I think Flo will be better in 6 months. It needs to develop into itself and learn how to race.
Well,
Do O'Shea horses develop?
Look,
That's a
okay,
good
let's.
question. Maybe they don't.
Why was it so well backed before race day? It was $5 to $3 by Friday.
Who?
Flow. It was 5 to 3s by Friday. Like with the, is that
who
just
with?
an overreaction?
Who with?
Across the board.
But what is it? Do they take any bets?
Well, I don't know. That's what I'm asking. Is it an
Seems to get on
overreaction?
till 9 o'clock. So, what would the people ring up and say, I'm interested in Flo? They go, yeah, bringing in 4 points here, you got nothing? $5 to 4.20. I mean, does anyone get on?
I'm asking the
Potentially,
Early-
no.
those
Does
early
it-
ones,
when you say does anyone, there's 2 categories of punters, isn't there? There's those that can get on, there's those that can't.
Yeah, but even those that can get on, they eventually back and win it, and then they can't.
I guess so.
All right, Wonderbolt in the highway race.
Well, it
much
was
to say,
so
is just there.
disappointing a race. There it was.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually probably the best calibre of highway race we've seen.
Yeah, but the field size is
Well,
we had the three
the
horses at 2 to 1, and then 3 horses at 8.
I know. The other interesting thing is that I was of the impression that highway races were having a break over winter, but they're not.
Okay, do that.
So they're going to run them all the way through, which will be interesting to see. Interesting to see how they go.
Oh, look at the greyhounds just turned up. Let's throw a number on it.
A dish picker. Yeah. Look, as far as the form from that race goes, that's the most meritorious form from a highway race. But I understand what you're saying. I mean, Wonderbolt.
We've spoken about Themis and how unfashionable it was. Rodrigo, Queensland Derby. Well, I don't know about the Queensland Derby. It's coming off.
That race.
PR
Can
of
we
all
just
PR.
forget that race?
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
it's
That
an
suits me.
awful race.
That's a good idea. Well, he's just an old pro, strong as ever, sat outside the lead.
Yeah.
Great win.
Yeah.
Hard to place from here on in, though.
Good win, and you know, ins and outs is well, he doesn't win very often, and he's just not suited chasing.
And then we saw El Lou. I did see Glenn on the TV talk about El Lou, and there was one thing I did miss in its form, because I always thought it was a talented horse, and I thought that price range right, a bit of money, not despising the fact that you've got to be careful of bad Glenn. And we saw outstanding Glenn on El Lou, and then of course he said in the post-race interview he had ridden it last start, which I missed on the form guide, so it was like bad Glenn to good Glenn. Fuck! So dirty. I forgot to check the tape on it.
El Lou and Terry Copper made mention of this, but I was well aware of it, was having her first up run for Waller. So Waller took her over Magic Millions time from Hawks.
Yes,
right?
okay.
Yeah.
And so she had a couple of
There she was.
stumbles for Waller, but she goes out and she comes back and gets the Waller treatment first up for the first time,
Back to
and it showed.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The interesting thing about that race was how soft the favourites were in the race. Like the Trashoir was just completely unwanted and ran accordingly. And Sangiovese, well, it was. Do we have to back this?
What is Sangiovese?
Well, it's a thousand.
It's a popcorn.
Yeah. Like it springboarded off its maiden win to get home at Hawkesbury in a terrible race.
Yeah.
And then what did it do?
Got lost at Randwick, didn't it?
Went to Scone and ran one of those races where if you just pot all those horses out of finished a Lucinarian behind, you probably make some money.
The Mikel Cup we spoke about with Roar and Palace and Ecuador being too good, and Bullrush we've spoken about, and the last thing to talk about is Shamanassa. It was just a tradesman effort.
Well, it was beautifully set up with 3 runs back, and did some work in a mile race on this course 10 days
And
ago.
just talking about Shamanassa, it's a good. I really liked Olympic Academy there on each way basis.
You did,
especially
and it ran very well.
And my first bit was 2,660 at the $4 a place, and then I got the $5 a place with Robbie, so I got a little bit more than $5 a place, and then going home that night. And this is for all punters out there. Always have your tab prices up late. Always check your fixed odds on tab, even though I hate the filthy place. But they have started $26 and $6.40 a place, which was a great place price fixed odds. I mean, I don't know how I haven't noticed that, but anyway, Shamanassa is a tradesman effort, and Olympic Academy is not a fashionable horse to win, but he gets into a spot. He came down 8 kilos in weight, presented at 400, and he made his run where most horses didn't that day. Thought he went really well.
Yeah, so it was a day where you either controlled the lead or you sat one off. In the one off, running lines worked okay, but it was sort of a one-off day because the rail was out 3 metres. We'll see the rail go out to the 6 metre position next time, which will probably aid the inside somewhat. So we've seen the true rail on the Wednesday where it was business as usual.
Business as usual.
Then Saturday was
There it
up
was.
and off, but not too far off.
6 metres out, it'll be like one on the fence or one off it.
Yeah.
Behind the. All right, that's the end of part 1. It's been so exciting.